Hey guys, it's Martin Cliffe here with the first of my recording vlog videos that I'll be doing over the next few days. It is Saturday the something of March 19th, something like that. It's the first day of our school Easter holidays. I'm in the room that will be, will become my studio for the next few days. It's actually our school drama studio in a dance room. It's got mirrors, it's got hard floor. Thankfully it's got blackout curtains that go across the mirrors, so I can at least it's cover down some of the reflections and stuff. But as you can see, if I just turn the camera around, I've got quite a bit of stuff. Trolley full of amplifiers and all essential carpet, drum kit, another amplifier, various toys. What you won't see in this video is any guitars yet. I'll bring them down. As you may be able to see out the window, there is a rather large construction site outside, and they tend to work until about sort of 5 in the evening, so I'll mostly be working in the evenings over the next week. I've got a big partition wall that I'm going to be closing up to make this space half the space. It's got a good high ceiling. It's I think that's the height of a door, so it's 12-13 feet up to the floating ceiling, and it's not a hard ceiling, so it's quite a useful space. Oh, I come and talk to myself in the mirror. So this side of the room I'm not using primarily because there's a lift behind that door and it makes a lot of noise. But here we go. So that from the partition wall will be my studio space. We've got some lighting and a projector and screen up at the moment, which you don't need to worry about, but this is where I'll be working. So I'll shoot more in a little while once I've got the drum kit up. I'll be uploading one of these video blogs every day over the next week, so you can sort of follow my progress. But as I say, I'm going to get the drum kit set up, I'm going to get the mics in. My recording interface I haven't brought down yet, but I can lay all the cables in place and all that kind of stuff, so that I am ready to go either this evening or tomorrow. We'll see how things go. But until the next update, which will be in a few seconds for you guys. Okay, so I teased this on Instagram a few days ago, but here is my Yamaha Absolute Hybrid Maple drum kit set up now. As you can see, I've got the partition wall in once I've figured out how to do that. I've not run any mic cables yet, but the kit is got all the mics in place, with the exception of my high room mics. There are stands over there. I've got low room mics in place, but high ones, basically because I've left my 3/8 inch to 5/8 inch adapters over in my apartment, so I'll bring them along later when I come back with more stuff. But everything else is in place. So as you can see, it's a standard what's called a studio kit, which is 10 inch, 12 inch, 14 inch toms, 20 inch kick drum, got 14 inch snare. I have a lot of cymbals. So if I move around to the driver's seat, as it were, so my main hi-hat is these Sabian AAX. All my cymbals are Sabian, nearly all of them are AAX. I just really like them. So these are AX Fusion hats, they're 13 inches, they're my favourite hi-hat. And then above that I have a 6 inch AX Splash and a 7 inch AX Max Splash. The hi-hat is mic'd with a Beta 181C microphone that's just tucked in there. And then up top here we've got a 16 inch AX Explosion Crash, which I think is the cymbal I've had the longest out of all of my cymbals. On an X hat here we have some Sabian AX 13 inch accelerator hats, and the X hat is adjustable for how you may be able to see there it says open, struck, close. You can adjust it for how tight you want it. The slightly weird stack thing in the middle here is an 11 inch Explosion Splash on top of a 12 inch Sabian Chopper, which is a kind of slightly strange thing. It's basically three slightly mangled or cut apart sheets of B8 bronze, which is why it may or may not, it certainly looks to me a different colour. I can't tell whether it does on the camcorder because it's a different type of bronze, and they're on a stack together. I saw someone, I think it was, I apologise if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Cobus Potgeiter, so he had something very similar, not maybe these exact symbols, but this kind of stack for a very, very short attack, and you'll hear it in a minute. So I got one of them, tried it, really liked the sound of it. Above that we have a standard AX 8-inch splash, 15-inch dark crash, which I really like. It's one of my favourite sounding cymbals, but with only being 15-inch, it's a little bit on the quieter side. This is a 17-inch AX Explosion fast crash. I have two rides on this kit. This is Explosion 20-inch ride, which I really like. It's quite crashable, it's got a good bell. But then my favourite ride is the AX dry ride that's underneath there. It's kind of tucked away because I don't need to play the bell because it hasn't really got much of a bell. It's just a lovely sounding ride cymbal. Again, we've got a Beta 181 miking them. And the final cymbal on the kit is this Ozone 18-inch crash. So looking at the kit itself, as I say, 14-inch floor tom, 12-inch and 10-inch rack toms, and they're mic'd with these little Shure Beta Beta 98 AMP/C, which basically means that they're on a gooseneck. It's all kind of built in. They're quite a nice little microphone. Snare drum is my 14-inch gain absolute hybrid microphone, 14 by 5.5. I'm going to say something like that. And I've got two Beta 57s miking that up. Overhead mics are up here. They are Shure Beta 27As. They're new mics. So trying them out, but I'm sure they'll be great. And they're equidistant from the snare and the bass drum Beta, just to ensure phase. They're quite widely spaced because I like a wide image. So that is, the right one is roughly over the Ozone crash, so right at the edge of the drum rack, and this left one is actually quite a way away from the kit. It's maybe a foot to 18 inches outside the kit. Again, just to maintain phase coherence, and everything is mounted on a Yamaha Hex Rack 2. And there's the bass drum down there. It's a 20 by 16. Inside there, I don't know how easy it'll be to see on camera because I have internal microphones in there. Sorry about that. So I have the lighting is a bit strange, but there is a Shure Beta 52A on a Kelly Shoe composite U-shaped suspension mount, and also a Beta 91A on a Kelly Shoe flats, also on a suspension mount. So they're completely isolated from the drum, they're inside the drum, and the cables come out via these. Again, I don't know how easy it is to see, but there are two XLR sockets. There's one, which are May drum mounts. I think they're made by DW these days. And it's just a way of getting the cable through one of the air holes, because the Absolute Hybrid kit and all of Yamaha's high-end kits thankfully have quite a lot of air holes. So even if I block up a couple with mic ports, it kind of doesn't matter because it's got 10, I think. And then, as I say, my room microphones, I put those for the mess in here. I've still got work to do, but these are SE Electronics R1 ribbon microphones, and I have 4 of those, and they all have these Cascade Audio fathead preamps inline built in, which means it isolates the microphone itself from phantom power, and also gives, I think it's an 18 dB boost, which then means that my audio interface preamps don't have to work quite so hard. So these are on low stands. They're about 5 meters away from the snare and the bass drum. There's one here and there's one over there. This room is quite cool in the sense that it doesn't have any symmetrical walls. Nothing is symmetrical. The school is built on a curve. It's kind of semicircular, which means that I don't have as much problem with reflections, of strange reflections anyway. And the partition wall here is absorbent. As you can see, I've got the drums on a mat. So yeah, I don't know how well this has come out. This is just a brief test, so you can kind of hear what's going on. But I'll just play briefly. If I could see what I was doing, it would help. I'll turn off the audio recorder for this because I suspect it will be overpowering the mics on it. As you can see, I'm holding, well, you may be able to see I'm holding my audio recorder in my hand. So I'm going to turn this off and in a minute and just play briefly, just to give you a kind of idea of the kit and the cymbal sounds available to me. As I say, it's only on the camcorder mic, so I don't know how great it'll sound. There may not be any more updates for today. Not that I'll do any more work today, but I'll probably upload what I do later. Tomorrow is an update because tomorrow being Sunday I have church commitments and other things, so I'm not sure exactly how much I'll get done during certainly the morning and the daytime. So I'm going to upload this anyway as a kind of introduction after this. So drums are set up, just got cables to put in and everything else. I'm going to set up some guitar amps and stuff shortly and then get back, have some lunch, sort my guitars out, bring them down, and we'll take it from there. Okay, until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Okay, I hope you can hear me still on the camcorder mic. So just to give a quick rundown, we've got 13-inch fusion hats, AX 6-inch splash, 7-inch max splash, and I like them over the hi-hats so they're easily accessible. My accelerator hats, which just give me a different tone. Appears to be getting a slight bit of resonance there, so I'm going to investigate that. This weird splash stack with the chopper is very kind of electronic sounding, and it's really fast. It's far faster even than my hats. So if I want to do any kind of that's the 8-inch splash, 15-inch crash, 16-inch explosion crash, you may have noticed that I don't have felts on the tops of my crash cymbals or on this splash, but I do on everything else. I got that from Manu Katché. He doesn't have, it seems he doesn't have top felts on any of his cymbals. I found for the splashes and the rides, at least the little splashes and the rides, it needed it just to kind of keep them a bit under control, but certainly the crashes it seems to work better with. 17-inch explosion fast crash then. Nice and thin. It's got quite a lot of sustain, but the sustain kind of tails off fairly quickly. So by comparison, the 3 crashes the ozone is basically, I don't have a china. I wanted something that was a bit like a china but not quite as harsh. So that's kind of good. It's quite fast for accents. basically I lost or I sold and forgot about selling my china, which is why I kind of bought that as a substitute. I may get a china at some point, probably for over here. Explosion ride. I want that really big crash sound, and my dry ride is. Beautiful. And then I don't have any damping on my drums. I don't like using damping. I like using tuning to give the same effect. So the snare, it's got a control sound head on the top, so I get a much more high ringy sound around the edges, and in the middle a kind of darker sound. Nice and resonant, but not too much. And the toms. And again, everything's ringing, but not too much, not too crazily. And bass drum. That'll probably not sound good on camcorder mic, who knows. Okay, I'll just play a little grooves to play you out.